about the last time that you were studying? The textbook, the subject, the pen or pencil. But most importantly, think about what position you were in while you were studying. I don't know about you, but the last time I was studying, I was curled up with a blanket on a couch. There's a direct link between the position that we sit in and our success. There is something called ergonomics, which directly affects our success. Ergonomics comes from two Greek words, ergos meaning work, nomos meaning the law. Ergonomics is simply the law of work. It explains and suggests various ways that we can sit, which will allow us to be more academically successful and reduce future physical problems. Before we go into what ergonomics recommends that we do, let's examine what we're currently doing. Right now, college students are engaging in a variety of high-risk behaviors. First high-risk behavior, we sit for prolonged periods of time. Unavoidably so sometimes. We have lectures, classes, times we need to sit and study, or binge watching our favorite Netflix TV show. While we're sitting, we're often staring at a screen. The Mayo Clinic estimates that the average adult spends 2+ hours every day looking at a screen. For college students, I estimate that number is much larger. It's recommended that we study 2 hours for every credit hour that we're taking. For the average college student, that divides into about 3.5 hours every single day that we're staring at a screen. Often while we're looking at this screen, we're sitting in positions that unknowingly put strain on our musculoskeletal system. Think of it like the chassis of a car. These positions are described by the National Headache Association in this way. They say, students spend much of their time in straining positions, whether it be sitting in uncomfortable lecture hall seats or hunching over tables, hurrying to finish homework. These behaviors, these high-risk behaviors, have a direct effect on our health and our success. Let's look at screen time. The amount of time that we spend staring at a screen causes something called eye strain. The symptoms of this are blurred vision, sensitivity to light, double vision, and itching, burning sensation, dry, watery eyes, and these can have a huge effect on our success. Because if our eyes hurt and burn and we can't look at a computer and we have difficulty reading, there's no way that we can be successful. As far as putting stress in our musculoskeletal system, oftentimes we don't know that we're doing it, but the positions that we're in can cause pressure. If we're ever sitting so that our spine isn't properly aligned, so that we're twisted or pulling in one way or another, it can cause problems. Let's compare it to a car that's run off the side of a road. It's at an angle, and to an observer, it looks just fine. It looks like it could get up and drive away. However, when you approach the car and attempt to open the door, there is so much pressure and strain on that chassis and on the whole car that the door can't open. Ergonomics tells us that as we exhibit these small pressures on our body over time, it can lead to bigger compounded problems. Now that we know the effect of our current behaviors, let's look at what ergonomics recommends that we do. So ergonomics specifically addresses several things. First, it addresses screen time. It recommends that we follow something called the 20-20-20 rule. On this slide here, you can see it. It recommends that we take 20 seconds every 20 minutes and stare at something 20 feet away. This gives our eyes time to rest, recover, and allows us to be productive for longer. They have specific guidelines as well on computer use. They recommend that the computer monitor either be at eye level or slightly below. In these images, you can see a great example of that. Note also how the elbows are close to the side and the hands are straight, resting, the elbows are supported. Specifically, notice the relation between head position and the shoulder position. It's natural. The spine is aligned on top of each other. The chassis is not tweaked in any way. There are also various different ways of sitting, as you can see here. You can be leaned forward slightly more, leaned back. You can even stand. They recommend that for some activities. Now, let's examine the positive benefits of following these examples. So first, and surprisingly, is actually a monetary benefit. There is an estimate that adults spend about $7,800 every year on problems related to ergonomic musculoskeletal issues. So we're saving time and we're saving money. As college students, we need to be more productive. There is a direct link between following these ergonomic principles and performing more successfully. And if we perform more successfully, that means we're getting better grades. Better grades means more scholarship opportunities and more recognition, more success academically, which can affect our success in the future. And there are numerous benefits to learning now how to take care of ourselves so that we don't have to deal with any long-term problems in the future. To recap, the way that we're currently behaving and studying isn't producing the effects that we want. We're experiencing some of those symptoms now, some of those problems, some of that discomfort and inability to focus. And those problems will only compound as we go further away. But if we follow the ergonomic principles suggested, if we take care of our eyes and our bodies, we can see incredible success academically.